It is still Rapid TV's on Start Time channel 176, and this is Issues. I am Honor Her Favor, and with me in the studio is
Machiku Victory.
Okay, on today's edition of the show, we'll be looking at period poverty in Nigeria. Period poverty, a widespread but often overlooked issue, deeply affects so many girls and women in Nigeria. It refers to the lack of access to menstrual hygiene products, proper sanitation facilities, and education about menstruation, which can lead to significant physical, emotional, and even social challenges. In Nigeria, period poverty exacerbates existing inequalities and perpetuates cycles of poverty and marginalization. For many girls and women, menstruation is not just a natural bodily process but a source of shame, stigma, and discomfort to the inability to afford sanitary products or access appropriate facilities.
One of the key factors contributing to period poverty in Nigeria is the high cost of menstrual hygiene products. Many girls and women, particularly those from low-income households, struggle to afford pads, tampons, or menstrual cup on a regular basis. As a result, they often resort to using unhygienic materials like rags, old clothes, or even leaves, putting their health at risk and increasing their vulnerability to infections and other health complications. Furthermore, inadequate sanitation facilities in schools, workplace, and public spaces exacerbate the challenges faced by menstruating individuals. The lack of clean and private toilets with facilities for proper disposal of menstrual waste make it difficult for girls and women to manage their periods with dignity and comfort, often leading to absenteeism from school or work. Moreover, the silence and stigma surrounding menstruation in many Nigerian communities perpetuate feelings of shame and embarrassment, making it difficult for girls and women to seek help or access information about menstrual hygiene. Cultural taboos and misconceptions further contribute to the marginalization of menstruating individuals, hindering efforts to assess period poverty effectively.
On issues today, our attention will be on period poverty in Nigeria. On the other half of the program, we'll be speaking with a medical consultant and women advocates to know how the people of Nigeria would benefit from this. Joining us to discuss this development is our guest, Ms. Elizabeth Adebimpe, a medical consultant and member of Young Africans Leaders Initiative. You are welcome, Ms. Adebimpe.
Thank you very
You're
much for
welcome, ma.
having me.
Okay, we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll dive into the questions. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We're still on issues today on Rapid TV's on StarTime channel 176, talking about the topic period poverty. We still have our host here, Miss Elizabeth Adebimpe. So let's get straight to the questions. So, Miss Elizabeth, what are the main causes and consequences of period poverty, and how does it impact individuals and communities?
Okay, as we all know, period poverty is a global challenge, and the causes are just like the theme poverty. So, once we address poverty, then we'll address the psychological effect, the social effect, and the mental effect as well. So,
Yeah. What are the current statistics and trends regarding period poverty globally and in specific regions or countries?
okay, globally, I think we have over 500 million people affected by period poverty.
That's a lot. And how does period poverty intersect with other forms of inequalities, such as gender inequality, social economic status, and access to education and healthcare?
Okay, considering the fact that a lot of people does not understand what it means and the risk they are being exposed to by period poverty, we tend to get to know that even other genders that does not menstruate, the men, have little to no idea about how women or what women face during this period and the challenges they face during the period, and the rate at which the period utensils, the pad, tampons, menstrual cups, the rate at which the cost is in the market now is very high. So it tends to increase the poverty rates in the country and globally.
Thank you.
Okay. My Elizabeth, what are the barriers that individuals facing period poverty encounter when trying to access menstrual hygiene products, education about menstruation, and reproductive health care services?
Okay, the um the non-governmental organizations are trying to reach out to schools locally and internationally on how to help educate children, young children, about period poverty and how they can maintain their health hygiene and the proper ways to use all these period items to help them.
Right. How does stigma surrounding menstruation contribute to period poverty, and what strategies can be implemented to challenge and reduce this stigma?
Okay, take for instance, there is a young girl newly introduced to the world period, as it can be, it happens not planned for. So when a young girl that has not been well educated sees a period, can feel the sense of danger, and also if not opened to other people that has the idea or the knowledge about period, it might scare them. So this affects them mentally, and it might stigmatize them from going out to the world and expressing themselves. So it is often advised that they seek medical help. Their teachers in school, young children in high schools, they educate them about menstruation, because it is a way of showing growth. It is also a mental thing, like it is a necessary tool, necessary for a woman. Sorry, cut.
No. All right. What are some successful initiatives or programs that have been implemented to address period poverty, both at the local and international level?
There is an outreach concerning that effect, the SDGs, health talks. Also, nationally, there are often occurrences that people go out to teach about it, and donations about medical facilities. Sorry, I'm talking gibberish.
All right. Okay, my Elizabeth, what role can governments play in addressing period poverty through policy reforms, funding initiative, and public awareness campaigns?
It will be very, very good of the government to take this so seriously, because it is a very big risk, and it is a necessary factor in aiding a young woman. So we are pleading for the government to take a necessary course in helping the non-government organizations and helping young schools to donate to the cause of period poverty.
Okay, how can partnership between government, non-profit organizations, businesses, and community groups help to alleviate period poverty and ensure access to menstrual hygiene products for all?
Self-education, and like I said earlier, health talks. If government can insist on this education that helps women grow themselves in understanding the risk and the key factor to period poverty, it goes a very long way, because once a young girl understands what it means to be medically fit and the hygienic process in all these things, it will help them take precautions from the bad things to do and further improve their health status as well.
All right.
Okay. All right, we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll take some more questions. Welcome back to Issues. We are still on the topic period poverty. So, Miss Elizabeth, I would like to ask you some more questions.
Okay, no problem.
What are the environment implications of different menstrual hygiene products, and how can sustainable and eco-friendly options be more accessible or be made more accessible to those experiencing period poverty?
Okay, let's start from the government. The government can help reduce the cost of period utilities such as the pad, the tampons. If the costs are being reduced, it goes a long way. And for young girls as well, I would advise the maintenance of hygiene while menstruating is very important. The small things that we do to avoid risk, because the risk at which the period poverty goes in destroy, like it destroys lives, because for a young woman, the channel period comes out from you, the channel whereby you menstruate is a great deal, and if you are not taking care of it hygiene, it is very bad. It can be bad for reproduction, it can be bad for sexual activities, and so on and so forth. So if there are educations that goes on like this, it will be so much helpful.
So, how does period poverty impact individuals in vulnerable or marginalized communities such as refugees, homeless populations, and incarcerated individuals?
This is where government comes in, partnership with the non-governmental organization, because they are more private organizations. So we often find it hard to go into a facility that without having a government backup. So if government refuses to help these non-governmental organizations, it is little to nothing we can do about it, because we go about donating to refugees camps and all. So if it is not governmentally approved, there's nothing we can do, because the facilities would not accept things coming from non-governmental organizations, because they can be aftermath effect, the risk of social stigma, because they would feel these people coming to give aid to refugees camps and all. Maybe there is a reason behind it or something. Like, people have opinions, so it is better we have the government's backup. So it thanks to the government entirely.
Okay. So, what are the long term health implications of inadequate menstrual hygiene management and limited access to menstrual products?
Okay, for poor people, I would say, not to bring any stigmatization in form, there are little to things that we can use that can also be safe and medically approved to young women. Cotton wool is a process. A processed cotton wool is what is used in making pads. Tampons also. So if we can get cotton wool, I feel it's more cheaper and more maintained. So it's something that you can use, but eradicate the use of clothes, sleeves. It is much more dangerous and injurious to your health than cotton wool. Cotton wool is the only approved thing that you can use,
All right.
except from pads, tampons, menstrual cups.
Okay, so how can comprehensive sexuality education programs help to address period poverty by providing accurate information about menstruation and promoting menstrual hygiene practices?
Like you said, once adequate information and education is taken, I'm very sure, I'm very aware that young girls and young men would also help in exercising safe precautions and healthy precautions as well.
All right. And what are the ethical considerations involved in addressing period poverty, particularly in terms of respecting cultural beliefs and ensuring the dignity and autonomy of individuals?
Considering ethnicity, and I would say the right way or steps to do to engage in is create awareness. Let people around you be aware of your current situation. One thing I've learned about is do not keep quiet. Do not hide it. It is a thing of joy, of pride, that you are a woman. You can be fertile because of you've started menstruating. So if you keep quiet, it is much more dangerous to yourself. So let your people be aware. If in a family setting, in a community gathering, it's not a thing to be ashamed of. Like, the stigmatization is as big and dangerous as it is. It is not something you should cover up. Let your neighbor be aware, because some people might have what we call menstrual pains that can make them stay away from a community gathering or going to school. So it is something that you should inform your parents, inform your friends or your siblings, inform your teachers that this is the reason why such is happening. Like, just don't keep quiet. Just don't be ashamed of it. It is not something to be ashamed of.
All right. How can data collection and research efforts be improved to better understand the prevalence and impact of period poverty, especially in underserved population?
um Statistically, the reason why we can gather the statistics and numbers of people that are affected is because we have records and we have numbers keeping them. If there is no records to show these particular people are suffering from this, it will be very hard to render help to them. So that is why it is so important to keep records and statistics about
Okay.
poverty.
Okay. What steps can individuals take to support efforts to address period poverty in their communities, and how can they advocate for systematic change on this issue?
The steps to take is, like I said earlier, do not keep quiet. It will help you in communicating your situation well, and also once you are informing people that have the idea, people that have the knowledge, like a consultant or a teacher, it goes a long way, because it's like an hierarchy from the lower level to the top level. So if you keep communicating it, it will get to the top level, and the government will be able to help and solicit to the cause.
To tackle period poverty in Nigeria, concentrated efforts are needed at multiple levels. This includes education and awareness, which also entails that promoting comprehensive menstrual health education and awareness campaign to break the silence and stigma surrounding menstruation, empowering girls and women to manage their periods safely and confidently. We also have access to affordable products. Ensuring access to affordable and sustainable menstrual hygiene products through subsidies, distribution programs, and innovative solutions such as reusable pads or menstrual cups.
We can also be able to make concerted efforts by improving sanitation infrastructure, investing in the construction and maintenance of clean and accessible toilets with facilities for menstrual hygiene management in schools, public spaces, and our communities. Another one is policy reform. Advocating for policy reforms and legal frameworks that prioritize menstrual health and hygiene, including provisions for free and subsidized menstrual products and adequate sanitation facilities. We also have community engagement, engaging communities, religious leaders, and traditional authorities in conversation about menstruation to challenge harmful beliefs and practices and promote supportive environments for menstruating individuals. By addressing period poverty comprehensively, Nigeria can empower girls and women to fully participate in education, work, and public life, promoting gender equality and social inclusion for all. We'll go on a quick break now, and when we come back, we'll round it up on today's show. Stay tuned. Glad to know you're still with us on Issues on Rapid TV. For the second half of this conversation, we have students from Ibeku High School. Please, can you introduce yourselves?
Estalana. Marianne.
Okay. I have some questions here for you. So, how is the high rate of sanitary pads affecting you as young girls?
It affects me because of I don't understand. This- Because of I don't understand. It's not all of us that have the money to go to the markets to buy sanitary pads. Like we can't even afford the one of 500. Even the ones that are staying in their guidance. Some of them are weaker, so they won't be able to give you money. They'll be like, "Is it every day I will give you money for sanitary pads?" And like almost every month they increase the prices of sanitary pads in our country. So I want them to help us reduce the prices so that those that can be able to afford the one of 500 can buy it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, it's really affecting us because the prices of the sanitary pad is increasing every day. And secondly, it's not all, especially the young girls that have the money to buy the sanitary pad. And sometimes we ask our parents for the money. They will be like, is it every day that we'll be giving you money? It's really affecting us because sometimes we consider how we use our last card to buy the sanitary pad. And we think of, what if we use this money to buy the sanitary pad? What are we going to eat? And sometimes we just say it's better we use the money to buy something to eat and be satisfied. And we decide that we should use pieces or toilet roll and it's really affects us. It causes sickness to us.
Okay, thank you so much. And what do you think the government can do to ensure that these producers stick to a particular price?
I think they should talk to the producers to reduce the quality of the amount of the price of the sanitary pads because of it's not all that can afford it. And like sometimes you go to the supermarket to buy sanitary pads, it will be 500. Maybe the next month if you want to go to buy again, it might be 1,000. Like you'll be shocked because of I don't understand. We need to stick on one price of buying sanitary pads because it really affects the young girl child.
Okay. I think the government should go to the producers, talk to them, let them maintain the price and not increasing the price always. It's really affecting us because we can't buy pad today 500. Next month when you get to the market to buy the pad, it will be 700 or 1,000, more than 1,000 naira. And they should also increase the quality and also the quantity. I'm not decreasing the quantity. And then after decreasing the quantity, they will hide the price. It's really affecting us, especially the teenagers and the young ones.
Okay, thank you so much. And what is your advice to young girls who find it difficult to speak out?
I'm thinking they need to speak up because of it. Not all that has the money to buy all those things. And secondly, like who are staying with their guardians who are wicked, like their uncles who will say, before I'll give you the money, you have to offer me something before I'll give you the money. So out of nervousness and fear and rage of getting that thing, they have to give their guardians what they want before they can get the money. Because of they and secondly, they might go out staying with their boyfriend or staying with some old people who are not of their age, they are twice their age. So I'm thinking that they should stick on one price. And secondly, I it's also affecting me though, because of you can't go out because of it's not because of you don't have any money on your with your in your pockets in your hands. Some other girls they'll go sleeping with their boyfriends to get more money to buy the sanitary pads, and which is not good. Later on, they will deny. So I mean, that's what I'm talking about.
So, what exactly is your advice on how to speak out? What should they do?
I think they should like tell the government to help us reduce the prices of things because of it's not all that can afford them. Like some of them, they cannot even afford them, so they have to go out doing something like selling pure waters or something else on the street so that they can get the money to buy the sanitary pads.
All right. Okay. In this point, I think the girls should speak out Because I can remember a word that said, see something, say something. My own advice to them is to say out just anything, whenever you are in need of anything, speak out, don't be afraid. And I think it's because of their guidance, because some of them are living with their guidance, they can't speak out. The problem is that the guidance are maltreating them, because when they should speak out to their guidance, it will be like, is it every day that will be giving you money? The problem there is that the students or the girls, especially the teenagers, the young girls, they don't speak out. I think they should speak out whenever they are in need of anything. And secondly, they should also seek for advice from their friends or teachers.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. What advice do you have to our guidance that are still carrying young people from the village to the township?
The advice is that I want those people to take care of the girls very well, because of they went through those things that those young girl childs are going through now. So I'm thinking that they should have the mind and defend the girls, give them money to buy the sanitary pads and take care of them so that they can live healthy and they won't get any infections. So they can't use pieces of rags or tissues.
Yes. I think the parents that are taking children from village to town, that they should take care of the girls, because nobody knows tomorrow. The girl might be your savior tomorrow. They should take good care of the girl, because these girls that are going to people's house just to stay with them because they don't have money, they all know what they pass through in the village. Or when they get to the town, they are not meant to be maltreating them like that. So my advice to them is to help them out. Nobody knows tomorrow. You might give birth to your own child. The next year, you might decide to just let the child or the girl go and stay with his or her uncle. And the uncle might maltreat he or her like the way you maltreated the girl that you brought from the village. I think that they should take care of the children, because nobody knows tomorrow. The girl might be your savior tomorrow. So I think they should handle the girls like how they handle their children, because child is child. Nobody knows tomorrow.
All right. What role does the female lawmakers at the National Assembly play?
I think you as now the National Assembly, as a mother, you need to defend the girl. Give her money to go buy something pack. Defend the girl so that they can live a good and healthy life. So that they can't have any infections on their body, like HIV or do, because of there are some of the sanitary pads that they sell which are not good, and you know they you know you everybody has to sell the same price of things, like how the law and bills are selling. Everybody has to sell the same prices of things. So I think the government should go around looking around, uh, should form a committee looking for who are not selling the same prices of things as they talked about. So that's what I'm talking.
All right.
Okay, in this point, I think they should pass out bills. They should have passed out bills today, especially for the good of the women and the girl child. They should try to pass out bills and also make a committee that will make sure that the bills that they pass through, they must be done, and also maintain the rules.
Thanks for joining us, and that is the size of the package we have for you today on Issues Rapid TV. We are kids from Magret High School.
We are kids
That's it
from
from
Ibeku
Ibeku
High
High
School.
School.
Happy
Happy
Children's
Children's
Day,
Day.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.